video I would like to share with you how I use a square built out of poles on the ground in the arena with a young horse. You see me here with Kaya. She is now 4.5 years old, and I have been riding her for about 4 months now. The first thing I like to do is exercises at the walk very slowly to improve our communication and the coordination. So first of all, I use the square as a boundary so that I notice when her shoulders are going to move out. And here you see I had to stop the shoulders and then the hindquarters went out. So I'm trying to align us better right now the second time around. Do it slowly so the horse can think about every leg. I turn my shoulders and my hips in the direction I want to go, and I hope she makes the right bend. And here you see, once she has done a circle with the right bend, she is also trying to stretch. And I always allow the stretch in the young horse, and I reward it, of course. And if we have done something one way, then we change hands and we go the other way. You see here I change diagonals through the square, so the corners are open, and you are always riding in between two poles, and that's also a great way to teach the young horse to stay straight on the diagonal and not start wandering off to the left or the right. So right here we are on the right hand, and that is a little bit easier for her than bending to the left. So it is easier to stay inside the square. And I'm just waiting to feel when is she having the right bend, and there it is. She's asking for the stretch. Of course, then she sees the pole on the ground. But once you notice the horse wants to stretch, you have improved something about the alignment. The second thing was staying straight on diagonals and changing hands. So changing from left bend to right bend, still at the walk. It is really my goal to use very small aids, very light communication. So I'm really trying to communicate with her through my seat and my body position. And the reins are pretty loose. They are just there to help and give her kind of a restriction or a kind of an aisle way to go through. So there is through the reins only a restriction when she goes too far. But keeping her in the middle is done through my seat, my upper legs, and of course my leg aids. There you saw before she stopped that she was falling a little bit to one shoulder. I corrected it, and then immediately I let her stand there once she is more balanced in the front to really acknowledge what is the middle. And if she offers so much bend to the right, which is her easy way to bend, then I kindly invite her to also get a little reward for bending to the left. Now that we have done the diagonal a few times and she knows this is a straight line, I will try very lightly to ask for the backup. Also, this is not done with the reins. The reins are just there as kind of a little restriction to tell her the door to the front is closed, but it's not pulling her back. Making the horse go backwards is done through engaging the muscles more in my belly and rounding my lower back. When I do that, she also rounds her lower back. And I encourage a little bit with my legs on a slightly different position than when I ask her to move forward. So it's not about going backwards quickly. With the young horse, it's really about building the communication and that all these light aids really have a meaning. There she's going back. Now she's coordinating herself. I can stop. You see the horse stands almost square. And that is the improvement that you get from doing exercises. Many times with young horses, people tend to only use the rising trot because it is thought to be better for the back. But this horse has very long legs and has to really make an effort to coordinate herself. And you can see here as I went through over the poles that it was not a straight line. She wiggles a bit to the left, a little bit to the right. And I don't want to add more wiggle to the equation with my body also moving up and down. So in the beginning, especially now when we are doing the turns, we are turning, going over the middle of the poles, turning, going over the middle of the poles. So we are making a clover leaf pattern. Then I just stay in the saddle. Of course, you have to stay supplely with the horse to not be in their way. But this is better for coordination and balance than immediately starting the rising trot. Right there, I released. I said, whoa, and it's okay, you can stop. But she was, she was really going for that second pole. So I would invite you to watch the video again and see all the little subtle things, because right now you're listening to me, you're watching at the same time. If you really want to learn all you can from this little video, then I would invite you to just put me on mute, to turn the sound off when you watch the second time and just really see what happens. And here you can see she was doubting, should I go left or right? And I'm really trying to stay clear that to the right is what we are going to do, and we are going to use that right hind leg. She's straightening out a little bit more. I'm trying to communicate with the right hind that it will be a bend to the right, not pull her head to the right. I'm just helping her a little bit with the reins, but it's not the first thing I do. I try to really think, am I watching to the right? Am I watching over the poles? Am I turning my shoulders? Am I turning my hips? Am I helping her with my leg aids? Am I being clear? This time she really understood my whoa when I released. And now I will, instead of making a cloverleaf pattern where I go all the time to the left or all the time to the right, I'm starting to doing the diagonal exercise again, where we will change bend. So we have a right bend, we go straight through the square, and then we have a right bend. So after the square, I have to communicate to the shoulders to make sure it is clear we are going in a new direction. And I know the horse is balanced when she wants to stretch. You can also see that now that she has warmed up in the trot, I am doing rising trot when I feel she is balanced and going freely forward. And there where she lost a little bit her alignment and where she wandered off a little bit to the right, there I sat with her again to not bring her more off balance or more on the forehand. I just let the horse rise me. I'm not rising with effort. I'm just letting her move me up as much as her back is swinging. And here you see she's a little bit discouraged. It is difficult for her switching directions. And she lays her ears back. And what I then do is I decide to stay on the right, to stay on a big circle around the square until she has found the comfortable position again, where she feels she can carry me without effort or without really straining herself, because she's a very sensitive horse. And when she feels I asked for something, she starts putting her ears back. I have to acknowledge that and help her find the easier way so that she can then relax into it and stretch a little bit, and then the ears go forward again. So I have a kind of traffic light in the front. Is it red? Then I have to help her again with the step before. Is it green? I can continue with the next step. And now I switch to the left because I made a big circle to the right. So I want to see, can I make also a good big circle to the left by steering with my body position. But here you can see I have to really ask her to move with the front more to the outside. So she's falling a little bit inside, and my inside leg is not enough to ask her for a bend and staying on the line of the circle. She's coming with her shoulders to the left and looking a bit to the outside. So I'm staying on the circle until I feel the next improvement, so that I can give her a reward. There I made the communication a little bit clearer again by using the whip towards the left hind leg, and I'm really searching. Can I help you? Can I make it clear that your shoulders should just move a little bit out of the way and then step under with the left hind? And I want to show you also these difficult moments because it's just being patient. And there she wanted to stretch. I encourage her to make a few more steps in the trot, but as soon as she found that alignment, she got a bit slower. But if you just rewind, then you will see there she found the balance.